It's soft. Yeah, it is. It's very soft. It's very soft. Yeah, yeah. Hey, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Julian. Grandma's here. Say hi, Grandma. Oh, she said hi, Grandma. Did you hear that? That was hi, Grandma. Yeah, that was. That was very good. You did a great job. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Yeah. That was very good. Hello, hello. Okay. We are gonna make coffee. We are gonna make coffee. We are gonna make coffee for Mommy and Daddy. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. How's everyone doing this morning? Amanda, that was just the cutest video I've ever seen, by the way. Yeah. How's everyone doing? You all good? Oh, I gotta get the replacement of this. Good thing I bought one yesterday. Good thing, huh? Are you gonna fall asleep? That would be so good. Morning, Isabella. Morning, everyone. Good morning, Karen. Let's see you. You're slightly awake. The replacement Kramer. Yay. Hooray. I know, they're so adorable. Such adorable babies. Hi. Hi, Wiggly Worm. Hi, my little wiggle worm. Hello. Hi, my wiggle. I say that too, Amanda. Every time someone's like, oh my gosh, look at her little hands, I'm like, thank you, I made those. Thank you. Thank you so much for the compliment on my handiwork. Yes. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Wow, we are out. What time is it? It's 8:35. Wow. We were tired. Homegrown. Becca, can you text me 8:35? She just passed out. Yeah, it's Etsy because they're homemade. That's right. That's right. How was having your friends over yesterday? It was very lovely. They'll be with us for live tonight and tomorrow too. You know, Rosie, I really freaking wish I was. You guys, why didn't no one tell me that I had a contract with a big company like Buckle? Why did no one tell me that I was supposed to be earning commission? Nobody told me. Nobody told me. And I was blown away that you knew exactly what kind of looks. Ah, yes. I've done that a couple of times for my other friends of mine's kids too, Amanda, and they find it to be the most magical thing. They're like, how'd she know that's all his favorite stuff? It's like, well, she knows things. She knows things. Yes, you're gonna get to meet them. Yeah, they'll probably come on camera. HR is mad. I haven't seen the contract nor. Yeah, I know. I'm mad too, HR. I'm mad too. Olivia did steal all my money, I bet. Can you believe it? Well, darn. Why did we let her take all my money, you guys? Can we like work this out so that I get some of the money at least? Like, why does she get everything? And who is she to get everything anyway? We don't even know her. Guys, she's so mad. If you guys haven't seen the comments, it's actually hysterical. She doesn't follow me, but she comes back every day to be angry about how I pronounce things. Oh, thank you. It's actually, the reason my hair is like this is because my friend Ellen gave me these. Yeah, I'll be live here tonight. Yeah, on here tonight. It's just like regular slime making. So these things that my friends, I know, that's hilarious, Chrissy. My friend Ellen gave me these. They are towel scrunchies to dry your hair for you when you don't have time to dry your hair, which obviously as a mom, I barely have time to breathe, let alone dry my hair. So when I washed my hair this morning, I just put my hair into these little buns with the towel scrunchies, and it's like leaching, water out of it. So bizarre. I thought she was one of us just being funny. I know. No, she's not one of us at all. It's some rando person who's just so mad. She's so angry. But like, why? Why is she so angry? Like, why does she care? I don't have a deal with them. I'm not making money from them. I just bought something and I mispronounced it. Like, why is that such a big deal? I don't know. I even said in the video, I said I bought this. I don't know. Like, it was just wild to me. Oh, thank you, Isabella. We were just talking about that. Oops. Oh, did I overfill? That was close. Look at that, you guys. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna attempt. Oh God. She does not own the company, Mom. The company responded and they liked my videos and they reposted them. So the company likes the videos. They think they're funny. The company has literally reposted like 4 of my videos to their page already. So they obviously aren't bothered. They think it's hilarious. So I don't know. My hair's cute. Oh, thank you, Lauren. Thank you. It is my attempt to dry my hair and work at the same time. Good stuff, right? A supermarket. Oh, hit me up with the info on the scrunchies Ellie needs. Yes, I will. They were a gift from Ellen, and I will go look up the label, which is currently in my bathroom. Yeah, and so I put them in space buns. You're right, Ellie does need your on them back for sure. Got me as a new follower. Yeah. We are talking about Fluffle and Olivia. That's right. We're talking about. I also love food shopping actually, but I'm not gonna lie. Secret Husband does most of the food shopping in our house these days because it means we don't have to bring the baby to the grocery store. I mean, the funny thing is, everyone who was mad about me mispronouncing Pluffle actually made the video go viral. It almost has 1 million views. What a shame that it can't be monetized, because that would be like $500. Seriously, you guys, I'm not even joking. Like a 1 million view video that's that long would be a lot of money, but it's not monetized. Because they kept reporting me for pronouncing it wrong. He also likes cooking. That's true. He does. He loves cooking. I know, it's so funny. Well, the funny part about the comment that I didn't realize at first, you guys, I didn't clock this until someone else from our group said it. I don't remember who said it. I think, I can't remember who said it, but you can see it in the comments. Someone pointed out that Olivia didn't realize she was commenting on my page. She thought she was commenting on Arbitrary Canary's page and dissing me, and didn't realize it was my page. I laughed so hard when someone pointed that out, because I thought she was just referring to me in the third person to be funny, but like I think it's true that she literally did not know she was on my page. I wish we had American candies and snacks. Maybe we will have to find a way to get you some, Isabella. Maybe we'll have to put together a care package for you. We don't know, Roxy. We don't know. Literally, she's some rando who doesn't mean anything to us. Has Kat commented to the share? Kat has commented, not, I don't know if Kat commented to her, but Kat commented about it. Kat thinks the whole thing is hysterical, by the way, you guys. You know, it's just, Isabella, why don't you DM me on Instagram, but I want to make sure your parents are cool with it first. And we can do something like that for you. I think that would be a really nice thing for us to do, maybe for your birthday, something like that. But I want to check with your parents first and make sure that that's an okay thing, because, you know, that's important. No, Isabella, please, let's be real. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, I think the Pluffle thing just got so hilarious, so funny. We're not going to charge you for a birthday present, Isabella, please. Stop being ridiculous. Don't be a crazy child. I'm not actually calling you crazy. You know I would never use that term for real. She's in the UK, Roxy, so we'll do it as a collective, I will helm this birthday gift for this lovely little lady. I can't believe she's passed out so early. It's been a long time since she fell asleep during coffee time. She usually falls asleep when we sit down by now. So do a poll on candies. Yeah, well, candies and snacks, your birthday. Well, we can have it a late birthday present, Isabella. Have a belated birthday, because I know you have struggle with food. Oh, Switzerland, really? That sounds amazing. I know that you struggle with I can't remember how to pronounce that, you know, the like thing where you have difficulties with different foods. So maybe we can find some things that work well for you. Actually, Becca, she slept really well yesterday. She napped a lot yesterday, Arfit. That's the one. A very merry birthday to you. Yes, half birthday. There you go. A half birthday. We love a very merry half on birthday. I'm big fan. Big fan. We take care of our own in this group, obviously. So I am going to right now, what I am going to do, it is a gross for a week. Amanda's right. That's exactly what it is. Food aversion sucks. So what we're going to do right now, this is a really important moment for me. I am going to make a concerted attempt to lean forward and get my coffee. Wish me the best. I always look like I'm in pain when I try to do that, but it's really just me trying not to A, wake up the baby, B, flop her head forward, or C, show her face. It's a lot of work, you guys. It's a lot of work. It doesn't sound like a lot of work, but it is. Okay. Delightful. It's everything I wanted. Ah, yes. I know. I washed my hair. My baby is asleep. I have coffee. We're gonna read. We made funny videos. Listen, we're working on it. Well, you look at all those things and tell us. We need to know, Isabella, when you DM me, first thing I need to know is I need permission from your parents. That's the number one most important thing. Second thing that I need is I need a list of aversions. You know what? Sort of man after my own heart. You know who else would eat that, Becca? That is, I don't know if this is gonna shock you or make you go, yep, that tracks, but that is a very, very common lunch for my husband. He just like chops up apple slices and eats pickles and cheese. So, lest you think you're growing a tiny secret husband, you might be. You just might be. They have so much in common, except that Sawyer is way more outgoing, which is fine. Right? Yeah, you could only hope. We can only hope that all the boys that we're raising turn out to be as good as girl dinner. It's his boy lunch. That's right. It's girl dinner and boy lunch. You're so sleepy. You're doing a big grow, huh? Yeah. My sister said that's why I have boys. That's right. That's what I told my sister too, actually, Becca. That is exactly. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but when my sister was pregnant with Ethan, she went through. Oh, good. I'm glad, Isabella. She went through a lot of emotional hardship, not because she didn't I forgot to eat, yeah. Not because my sister did not want to have a son. She had no problem. She had no like gender disappointment or anything like that. She was just scared of raising a boy in this. I mean, raising a girl is scary too, but she wanted to make sure that because he is the whitest of white boys, he didn't turn out like, you know, my biggest flex is raising a little green flag boy. That's right, exactly. But I said, no, you don't need to send. So Isabella, here's the thing. You don't need to send me money, but I have to figure out how to get slime through customs. That is the problem. The reason I don't ship to the UK is not because people aren't willing to pay for it. It's because customs has an issue with it. So let me do a little research, and maybe the one that I might be able to send, I might be able to send a cloud slime, because sometimes if you wrap cloud slime in tissue paper, the scanners don't pick it up as slime. I learned this trick, so don't tell anyone that I know this. Maybe it is okay if it's a gift, Jen. That's a good question. That's a great question. We'll have to look into it. You might know how Roxy, okay, let us know. What I learned at the airport is that if you wrap your cloud slime in a sweatshirt in your backpack, the scanners won't pick it up and they will not take your cloud slime away. But every other slime still picks up as liquid in the scanners. But cloud slime wrapped in a sweatshirt looks like fabric. That's your tip of the day. So you have, when you take slime on the airplane, you have to take like little tiny bits, but cloud slime, you can take 8 ounces if you do the trick. Well, I mean, don't try it on one you love because they might throw it away. But anyway, that's the trick that I have, that I use personally. I might sort of a little bit be breaking the law when I do that. Is it a law? Microfloam is not similar to cloud, but I'm gonna look into it, Isabella. I will research it for you. It's not a law, right? It's a regulation. There's a difference, right? I'm not breaking the law. I'm not super sure. It's not liquidy at all. That's the thing. I don't understand why they consider cloud slime a liquid. Is there any liquid to cloud slime? It's a rule. There we go. We'll go with a rule. And you know what? Some rules are more like suggestions. Let's not look too much into it. I like that approach. Thank you, Jamie. Instead, let's read about all the ways that people want to. I don't know what conversation you're talking about. I don't think we had any conversations ever. I think you can sell it on the app that you sent. Oh, really? Huh. That's interesting. I'll look into that. And it'll ship to the UK. Really? Well, let's get reading. And today, it's always something, right? You know, you would think the fact that I have our book club so early in the morning would mean that there would be quiet time outside. Because it's still early, and there are still people who are sleeping. Not me, but both my child and my husband are sleeping. Why is there so much noise? I would be wrong, Cindy. I would be wrong every day. You okay, honey? Are you having dreams that are making you... She's totally unbothered, completely. And that's because we don't do the quiet during the day thing. Perfect. Suggested cheese added. Yes, add cheese to the pickles and apples, definitely. Hey, mind the sleeping baby. Yeah, that would be funny. All right, well, we're gonna read anyway and hope for the best. Today, we are on chapter 8. No, I cry and I spring forward, but it's too late to stop the arm from descending, and I instinctively know that I won't have the power to block it. Instead, I throw myself directly between Gale and the whip. I've flung my arms out to protect as much of his broken body as possible, so there's nothing to deflect the lash. I take the full force of it across the left side of my face. Yeah, we added cheese to pickle and apple, of course. Yeah, like white cheddar slices. Oh my God, so delicious. You could eat them in one bite. Phenomenal. You might even want to add an apricot in there, like a dried apricot. Good stuff. Yeah. The pain is blinding and instantaneous. Jagged flashes of light cross my vision, and then I fall to my knees. One hand cups my cheek while the other keeps me from tipping over, and I can already feel the welt rising up, the swelling closing my eye. The stones beneath me are wet with Gale's blood. The air is heavy with its scent. Stop it! You're killing him! I shriek.
I get a glimpse of my assailant's face. It's hard, with deep lines and a cruel mouth, gray hair shaved almost to non existence, eyes so black that they seem all pupils, a long, straight nose reddened by the freezing air. Yes, mixed nuts too. The powerful arm lifts again, and he sets his sights on me. My hand flies to my shoulder, hungry for an arrow, but of course, my weapons are stashed in the woods. I grit my teeth in the anticipation of the next lash. Hold it, a voice barks. Hamish appears and trips over a peacekeeper lying on the ground. It's Darius. A huge purple lump pushes through the red hair on his forehead. He's knocked out, but he's still breathing. What happened? Did he try and come to Gale's aid before I even got here? Hamish ignores him, though, and pulls me to my feet roughly. Oh, excellent. His hands are locked under my chin, lifting it. She's got a photo shoot next week, modeling wedding dresses. What am I supposed to tell her stylist? If I see a flicker of recognition in the eyes of the man with the whip, it's bundled. I see a recognition. Sorry. Let's try that again. I see a flicker of recognition in the eyes of the man with the whip. Bundled against the cold, my face free of makeup, my braid tucked carelessly under my coat. It wouldn't be easy to identify me as the victor of the last Hunger Games, especially with half of my face swelling up. But Hamish has been showing up on television for years. He would be difficult to forget. The man rests the whip on his hip. She interrupted the punishment of a confessed criminal. Everything about this man, his commanding voice, his odd accent, warns of an unknown and dangerous threat. Where has he come from? District 11? 3? From the capital itself, maybe? I don't care if she blew up the Justice Building. Look at her cheek. Think that the cameras will be ready to see that in a week? Hamish snarls. The man's voice is still cold, but I can detect a slight edge of doubt. Well, that's not my problem. No? Well, it's about to be, my friend. The first call I make when I get home is to the capital, Hamish says. I'm going to find out who authorized you to mess up my Victor's pretty little face. He was poaching. What business is it of hers anyway? Says the man. He's her cousin. Peeta's got my other arm now, but gently. And she's my fiancé. So if you want to get to him, expect that you're going to have to go through both of us. Maybe we're it. The only 3 people in the district who could make a stand like this, although it's sure to be temporary and there will be repercussions. But at the moment, all I care about is keeping Gale alive. The new head peacekeeper glances over at his backup squad, and with relief I see that those are familiar faces, old friends from the Hob. You can tell by their expressions that they are not enjoying the show. One, a woman named Perna, who eats regularly at Greasy Say's, steps forward stiffly. I believe, for a first offense, the required number of lashes has been dispensed already, sir, unless your sentence is death, which we would carry out by firing squad. Is that standard protocol here? Asks the head peacekeeper. Yes, sir, Pernia says, and several others nod in agreement. I'm sure none of them actually know, because in the Hob, the standard protocol for someone showing up with a wild turkey is for everyone to bid on the drumsticks. Oh, very well. Get your cousin out of here, then, girl. And if he comes to, remind him that next time he poaches off of the capital's land, I'll assemble that firing squad personally. The head peacekeeper wipes a hand along the length of the whip, spattering us with the blood, and then he coils into it quickly, neat loops, and walks off. Most of the other peacekeepers fall into an awkward formation behind him. A small group stays behind and hoists up Darius's body by the arms and legs, and I catch Pernia's eye and mouth the word, thanks, before she goes. She doesn't respond, but I'm sure she's understood. Gale, I turn, my hands fumbling at the knots binding his wrists. Someone passes forward a knife, and Peeta cuts the ropes. Gale collapses to the ground. You better get him to your mother, says Hamish. There's no stretcher, but the old woman at the clothing stall sells us a board that serves as her countertop. Just don't tell anyone where you got it, she says, packing up the rest of her goods quickly. Most of the square has emptied, fear getting the better of compassion. But after what just happened, I honestly can't blame anyone. By the time we've laid Gale face down on the board, there's only a handful of people left to carry him. Hey, don't bonk your head. Peeta and a couple of miners who work the same crew as Gale lift him up, and Levy, a girl who lives a few houses down from mine in the seam, takes my arm. My mother's kept her little brother alive last year when he caught the measles. Do you need help getting back? Her eyes are gray and scared, but determined. No, but can you get to Hazel and send her over? I ask. Yeah, says Levy, turning on her heel. Need to start buying bigger dolls quickly. Yes. I am going to pause for 2 seconds because I need to reconfigure my sweet baby's head because I don't like when she's so close to the rings without something. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to do. That's exactly what we're doing here because when she leans her head like that, I don't like that she bonks. We don't like it. Okay, all better. Ray, you read my mind. You read my mind. Because we're rap girls. Ay. In case you guys didn't know, Ray is the one who gifted me the other two that are stripy like this one. The gray one and the pink one. They're everyday uses in our household. Levy, I say, don't let her bring the kids. No, I'll stay with them myself, she says. Thanks. I grab Gail's jacket and hurry after the others. You better get some snow on that, Hamish orders over his shoulder, and I scoop up a handful of snow, press it to my cheek, numbing a bit of the pain. My left eye is tearing heavily now, and in the dimming light, it's all I can do to follow the boots in front of me. It is the best, I agree, Roxy. As we walk, I hear Bristle and Tom, Gail's crewmates, piecing together the story of what happened. Gail must have gone to Cray's house, as he's done 100 times, knowing that Cray always pays well for wild turkey, but instead, he found a new head peacekeeper, a man they heard someone call Romulus Thread. No one knows what happened to Cray. He was buying white liquor in the Hob just this morning, apparently still in command of the district, but now he's nowhere to be found. Thread put Gail under immediate arrest, and of course, since he was standing there holding a dead turkey, there was little Gail could do or say in his own defense. Word of his predicament spread quickly. He was brought to the square and forced to plead guilty to his crime and sentenced to whipping and being carried out immediately. By the time I showed up, he'd already been lashed at least 40 times. He passed out around 30. Lucky he had only just the one turkey on him, says Bristle. If he had his usual haul, it would have been much worse. Yeah, he told Thread he found it wandering in the seam, said it got over the fence somehow and he stabbed it with a stick. Still a crime, though. But they'd know he'd been in the woods with weapons. They'd have killed him for sure if they'd known that, says Tom. And, what about Darius? Peeta asks. After about 20 lashes, he stepped in saying that was enough. Only he didn't do it in the smart and official way like Pernia did. He grabbed Thread's arm and... Baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? You want to rock? You need to rock. Yeah. Hey. What's the matter? Okay. We want out? You want out? You want out? Yeah. Yeah, you just wanted to be a little loosened for a second? You want to come up on Mommy's shoulder? Yeah, it's okay. You can. You can do a shoulder sleep. It's okay. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you can do that. That's okay. Yeah. He grabbed Thread's arm, and Thread hit him in the head with the butt of the whip. Nothing good waiting for him, though, says Bristle. Doesn't sound like much good for any of us, says Hamish. Snow begins, thick and wet, making visibility even more difficult. I stumble up the walk to my house behind the others, using my ears more than my eyes to guide me. A golden light colors the snow as the door opens. My mother, who was no doubt waiting for me after a long day of unexplained absence, takes in the scene. New head, Hamish says as she gives him a curt nod as if no other explanation is needed. I'm filled with awe, as I always am, and I watch her transform from a woman who calls me to kill a spider to a woman who is immune of fear. When a sick or dying person is brought to her, this is the only time I think my mother really knows who she is. Good morning. In moments, the long kitchen table has been cleared. A sterile white cloth has been spread across it, and Gail has been hoisted up onto it. My mother pours water from a kettle into a basin while ordering Prim to pull a series of her remedies from the medicine cabinet. Dried herbs and tinctures are store-bought bottles, and I watch her hands and the long, tapered fingers she has, crumbling this and that, adding drops into the basin, soaking a cloth in the hot liquid as she gives Prim instructions to prepare a second brew. My mother glances my way. Did it cut your eye? No, it's just swelled shut, I say. Okay, get more snow on it right now, she instructs, but I'm clearly not a priority. Can you save him? I ask my mother, and she says nothing as she wrings out the cloth and holds it to the air to cool it somewhat. Don't worry, says Hamish. There used to be a lot of whippings before Cray. She's the one we took him to all the time. I can't remember a time before Cray, a time when there was a head peacekeeper who used the whip freely, but my mother must have been around my age and still working at the apothecary shop with her parents. Even back then, she must have had her healer's hands. Ever so gently, she begins to clean the mutilated flesh on Gale's back. I feel sick to my stomach, useless, the remains of the snow dripping from my glove and into a puddle on the floor. Peeta puts me into a chair and holds a cloth filled with fresh snow to my cheek. Hamish tells Bristle and Tom to get home, and I see him press coins into their hands before they leave. Don't know what will happen with your crew, he says. They nod, and they accept the money. Hazel arrives, breathless and flushed, fresh snow in her hair. Wordlessly, she sits on a stool next to the table and takes Gale's hand and holds it to her lips. My mother doesn't even acknowledge her. She's gone into that special zone that includes only herself and the patient and occasionally Prim. The rest of us would have to wait. Even in her expert hands, it takes a long time to clean the wound and arrange what shredded skin can be saved. She applies a salve and a light bandage, and as the blood clears, I can see where every stroke of the lash has landed, and I feel it resonate in the single cut on my face. I multiply my own pain once, twice, 40 times, and I can only hope that Gale remains unconscious. Of course, that's too much to ask for. As the final bandages are placed, a moan escapes his lips. Hazel strokes his hair and whispers something while my mother and Prim go through their meager store of painkillers, the kind that's usually accessible only to doctors. They're hard to come by, expensive, and always in demand. My mother has to save the strongest for the worst pain, but what is the worst pain? To me, it's always the pain that is present. If I were in charge, those painkillers would be gone in a day because I have so little ability to watch suffering. My mother tries to save them for those who are actually in the process of dying, to ease them out of this world. Since Gale is regaining consciousness, they decide on an herbal concoction that he can take by mouth. That's not going to be enough, I say, and they stare at me. That won't be enough. I know how it feels. That'll barely knock out a headache. Well, we'll combine it with a sleep syrup, Katniss, and he'll manage. The herbs are for inflammation, really, more. My mother begins calmly. Just give him the medicine, I scream at her. Give it to him. Who are you anyway to decide how much pain he can really stand? And Gale begins stirring at my voice, trying to reach me. The movement causes fresh blood to stain his bandages and agonizing sounds to come from his mouth. Take her out of here, my mother orders, and Hamish and Peeta literally carry me from the room while I shout obscenities at her. They pin me down onto a bed in one of the extra bedrooms until I stop fighting, and while I lie there, sobbing, tears trying to squeeze out of the slit that is my eye, I hear Peeta whisper to Hamish about everything about President Snow and the uprising in District 8. She wants us all to run off, he says, but if Hamish has an opinion on it, he doesn't offer one. After a while, my mother comes in and treats my face, and then she holds my hand, stroking my arm, while Hamish fills her in on what happened to Gale. So, it's starting again, she says, like before. Yeah, by the looks of it, he answers. Who'd have thought we'd ever be sorry to see old Cray go, huh? Cray would have been disliked anyway because of the uniform he wore, but it was his habit of luring starving women into his bed for money that made him an objection of loathing in the district. In really bad times, the hungriest would gather at his door at nightfall, vying for a chance to earn a few extra coins to feed their family by selling their bodies. Had I been older when my father died, I might have been among them, but instead I learned to hunt. I don't know exactly what my mother means by things starting again. I'm too angry and hurting to even ask. It's registered, though, the idea of the worst times returning, because when the doorbell rings, I shoot straight out of bed. Who could it be at this hour of the night? There's only one answer. Peacekeepers. They can't have him, I say. Might be you they're after, Hamish reminds me. Or you, I say. Nope, not my house, Hamish points out. But I'll get the door for you. No, I'll get it, my mother says quietly. We all go, though, following her down the hallway to the insistent ringing of the bell. And when she opens it, there's not a squad of peacekeepers, but a single, snowflake-caked figure. Mage. She holds out a small, damp cardboard box for me. Use these for your friend, she says, and I take the lid off the box, revealing half a dozen vials of clear liquid. They're my mother's. She said that I could take them. Use them, please. She runs back into the storm before we can stop her. Crazy girl, Hamish mutters as we follow my mother into the kitchen. Whatever my mother had given Gale, I was right. It wasn't enough. His teeth are gritted as his flesh shines with sweat. My mother fills a syringe with a clear liquid from one of the vials and shoots it into his arm. Almost immediately, his face begins to relax. What is that stuff? Asks Peeta. It's from the capital. It's called Morphling, my mother answers. I didn't even know Mage knew, Gale, says Peeta. We used to sell her strawberries, I say almost angrily. But what am I angry about, though? Not that she's brought the medicine, surely. She must have had a taste for those strawberries, says Hamish. And that's what nettles me. It's the implication that there's something going on between Gale and Mage. I don't know. I don't like it. She's my friend, is all I say. And now that Gale has drifted away on the painkillers, everyone seems to deflate. Prim makes us each eat some stew and bread. A room is offered to Hazel, but she goes home to the other kids. Hamish and Peeta are both willing to stay, but my mother sends them home to bed as well. She knows it's pointless to try this with me and leaves me to tend to Gale while she and Prim rest. Alone in the kitchen with Gale, I sit on Hazel's stool, holding his hand. After a while, my fingers find his face, and I touch parts of him that I never had cause to touch before. His heavy, dark eyebrows, the curve of his cheek, the line of his nose, the hollow at the base of his neck. I trace the outline of stubble on his jaw and finally make my way to his lips, soft and full and slightly chapped. His breath warms my chilled skin. Does everyone look younger when they sleep? Because right now he could be a boy, the same boy that I ran into the woods with years ago, the one who accused me of stealing from his traps. What were we? Just a pair of fatherless, frightened, and fiercely committed to keeping our families alive. Desperate, and yet no longer alone after that day because we'd found each other. I think of hundreds of moments in the woods, lazy afternoons, fishing the day that I taught him to swim, the last time that I twisted my knee and he carried me home, mutually counting on each other, watching each other's backs, and forcing each other to be brave. For the first time, I reverse our positions in my head, and I imagine watching Gale volunteer to save Rory in the reaping, having him torn from my life, becoming some strange girl's lover to stay alive, and then coming home with her, living next to her, and proposing marriage to her. Yeah, you don't like that, huh? The hatred I feel for him and for the phantom girl, for everything, chokes me. Gale is mine, and I am his. Anything else is unthinkable. Why did it take him being whipped within an inch of his life for me to see this? Because I'm selfish, and I'm a coward. I'm the kind of girl who, when she might actually be of use, would run to stay alive, and leave those who couldn't follow to suffer and die. This is the girl that Gale met in the woods today. No wonder I won the games. No decent person ever wins. You saved Peeta, though, I think weakly. But now I question even that. I knew good and well that my life back in District 12 would be unlivable if I let that boy die. I rest my head forward on the edge of the table, overcome with loathing for myself, wishing that I had died in the arena, wishing that Seneca Crane had blown me to bits the way that President Snow said he should have when I held out the berries. The berries. I realize the answer to who I am lies in a handful of poisonous fruit. If I held them out to save Peeta's life, it's because I knew I would be shunned if I came back without him. Well, then I'm despicable. If I held them out because I loved him, then I'm self-centered, although forgivable. But if I held them out to defy the capital, I'm someone of worth. The trouble is, I don't know exactly what was going on inside me at that moment. Could it be that the people in the districts are right, that it was an act of rebellion, even if it was an unconscious one? Because deep down, I must know that it isn't enough to keep myself or my family or my friends alive by running away. Even if I could, it wouldn't fix anything. It wouldn't stop people from being hurt the way that Gil was hurt today. Life in District 12 really isn't so different from life in the arena. At some point, you have to stop running, and you have to turn around and face whoever wants you dead. The hard thing is finding the courage to do it, though. Well, it wasn't hard for Gale. He was born a rebel. I'm the one making a plan to escape. I am so sorry, I whisper, and then I lean forward and I kiss him. His eyelashes flutter, and he looks at me through a haze of opioids. Hey, Catnip. Hey, Gale, I say. I thought you might be gone by now, he says. And my choices are simple. I can die like a quarry in the woods, or I can die here beside Gale. I am not going anywhere. I'm going to stay right here, and we're going to cause all kinds of trouble. Yeah, me too, says Gale, and he manages just to smile before the drugs pull him back under. Oh, the rebellion begins. And, you know, dissent begins at home. We clearly see that here. Do you think I could reach the coffee for another sip, you guys? Do you think it's possible in the state that she's in for me to reach coffee before the next page? I wish you guys could see my legs right now. You would laugh so hard. I'm trying to do it. Oh, I got it. I got the cup. It's more than enough. Oh. Coffee. Okay. I used my head to hold her, or my chin to hold her head, rather. Okay. I didn't see your other comment. One of those cup holders go over there on the chair. Oh. Do you think that would work with a rocking chair, though, Claire? This chair's a rocking chair, and I'm afraid that it would all go sloshing around. I'm playing a game while listening, and the second you said, you got my game set, amazing. Thank you, game, for the what do you call it? Yes, please, Isabella, before I start the next thing. Yeah, it might be a bad idea in a rocking chair. In a regular chair, that sounds great. But in a rocking chair, we are currently on page 120. 120. That is what I am about to read. Yes, chapter 9, page 120. But I'm going to wait and see Isabella's message first so I don't miss it this time because I missed it before. Because, you know, reading and such what. Reading and such what. Good morning. You are welcome, Tiffany. No problem at all. You're being filtered. Oh, just message me on Instagram, Isabella, because I can see your messages there now that I found it. Okay. Let us read. You want to read some more? Yeah, okay. Someone gives my shoulder a shake and I sit up. I've fallen asleep with my face on the table. The white cloth has left creases on my good cheek. The other, that one hand that took the lash from thread, throbs painfully. Gale's dead to the world, but his fingers are locked around mine. I smell fresh bread, and I turn my stiff neck to find Peeta looking down at me with such a sad expression. I get the sense that he's been watching us a while. Go on up to bed, Katniss. I'll look after him now, he says. Peeta, about what I said yesterday, about running, I begin. No, I know, he says. There's nothing to explain. I see the loaves of bread on the counter in the pale snowy morning light, the blue shadows under his eyes, and I wonder if he slept at all. Couldn't have been long. I think of his agreeing to go with me yesterday, his stepping up beside me to protect Gale, his willingness to throw his lot in with mine entirely when I give him so little in return. No matter what I do, I'm here hurting someone. Peeta, I say. No, just go to bed, okay? He says. And I feel my way up the stairs, and I crawl under the covers and fall asleep at once. At some point, Clove, The girl from District 2 enters my dreams. She chases me, pins me to the ground, pulls out a knife and cuts my face. It digs deeply into my cheek and opens a wide gash, and then Clove begins to transform, her face elongating into a snout, and dark fur sprouts from her skin. Her fingernails grow into long claws, but her eyes remain unchanged. She becomes the mutation form of herself, the wolf-like creation that the Capitol terrorized us with the last night in the arena. Tossing her head back, she lets out a long, eerie howl that's picked up by the other mutts nearby. Clove begins to lap the blood flowing from my wound, sending each lick a new wave of pain through my face. I give a strangled cry, and I wake with a start, sweating, shivering all at once, cradling my damp cheek in my hand, and I remind myself that it was not Clove, but Thread who gave me this wound. I wish that Peeta were here to hold me, until I remember that I'm not supposed to wish for that anymore. I've chosen Gale and the rebellion, and a future with Peeta is the Capitol's design, not mine. The swelling around my eye has gone down, and I can open it a bit. I push aside the curtains and see the snowstorm has strengthened to a full-out blizzard. There's nothing but whiteness and the howling wind that sounds remarkably like the mutations. I welcome the blizzard with its ferocious winds and deep drifting snow. This may be enough to keep the real wolves, also known as peacekeepers, away from my door. A few days to think, to work out a plan, with Gale and Peeta and Hamish all at hand. This blizzard is certainly a gift. Before I go down to face this new life, though, I take some time to make myself acknowledge what it will mean. Less than a day ago, I was prepared to head into the wilderness with my loved ones midwinter, with the very real possibility of the Capitol pursuing us. A precarious venture it would be, at best, but now I'm committed to something even more risky, fighting the Capitol, and that assures that their swift retaliation will be upon us. I must accept that at any moment I can be arrested, that there will be a knock at the door like the one last night. A band of peacekeepers will be there to haul me away. There might be torture, mutilation, a bullet through my skull in the town square if I'm fortunate enough to get to go that quickly. The Capitol has no end of creative ways to kill people, and I imagine these things, and I'm terrified. But let's face it, they've all been lurking in the back of my brain anyway. I've been a tribute in the games. I've been threatened by the president. I've taken a lash across my face. I'm already a target. Now comes the hard part. I have to face the fact that my family and friends might share this fate. Prim. I need only think of Prim and all my resolve disintegrates. It's my job to protect her. I pull the blanket up over my head, and my breathing is so rapid that I use up all the oxygen and begin to choke for air. I can't let the Capitol hurt Prim. And then it hits me. But they already have. They've killed her father in those wretched mines. They've sat by while she almost starved to death. They've chosen her as a tribute and then made her watch her sister fight to the death in the games. She's been hurt far worse than I had at the age of 12, and that pales in comparison with Rue's life. I shove off the blankets and I suck in the cold air that seeps through the window panes. Prim, Rue, aren't they the real reason that I have to try to fight? Because what has been done to them is so wrong. It's so beyond justification. It's so evil that there's honestly no choice here, because no one has the right to treat them as they've been treated. Yes, this is the thing to remember when fear threatens to swallow me up. What I'm about to do, whatever any of us are forced to endure, this is for them. And it's too late to help Rue, but it's not too late for those 5 little faces that looked up from me to me at the square in District 11. It's not too late for Rory and Vic and Posey, and it's not too late for Prim. It's true. Gale is right. If people have the courage, this could be an opportunity. He's also right that since I have set this into motion, there's so much that I could do, although I have no idea exactly what that should be. But deciding not to run away is the crucial first step. Aw, I love to hear that, Liz. That's amazing. But you'll catch up. It's all good. I take a shower, and this morning my brain is not assembling lists of supplies for the wild, but instead it's trying to figure out how to organize that uprising in District 8. So many, so clearly acting in defiance of the Capitol. Was that even planned? Or was it something that erupted out of years of hatred and resentment? How could we do that here? Would the people of District 12 join in, or would they maybe lock their doors? Yesterday, the square emptied quickly after Gale's whipping, but isn't that because we all feel so impotent and have no idea what to do? We need someone to direct us and reassure us that this is possible. I don't think I'm that person. I may have been a catalyst for the rebellion, but the leader should be someone with conviction, and I'm barely a convert myself. Someone with unflinching courage, and I'm still working hard at finding mine. Someone with clear and persuasive words, and I am so easily tongue-tied. Words. I think of words and I think of PETA, how people embrace everything that he says. He could move a crowd to action, I bet, if he really chose to. He would find things to say, but I'm sure the ideas never crossed his mind. Downstairs, I find my mother and Prim tending to a subdued Gale. The medicine must be wearing off by the look on his face. I brace myself for another fight, but I try to keep my voice calm. Can't you just give him another shot? I will, if it's needed. We thought we would try the snow coat first, says my mother, and she's removed his bandages, and you could practically see the heat radiating off his back. She lays a clean cloth across his angry flesh and nods to Prim. Prim comes over, stirring what appears to be a large bowl of snow, but it's tinted light green, and it gives off a sweet, clean scent. It's snow coat. She carefully begins to ladle that stuff onto a cloth, and I can almost hear the sizzle of Gale's tormented skin meeting the snowy mixture. His eyes flutter open, perplexed, and then lets out a sound of relief. It's really lucky that we have snow here, says my mother, and I think of what it must be like to recover from a whipping in midsummer with the searing heat and the tepid water from the tap. What did you do in the warm months? I ask, and a crease appears between my mother's eyebrows as she frowns. We tried to keep the flies away. Oh, God. My stomach turns at the thought of that. Honestly, same. She fills a handkerchief with the snow coat and the snow coat mixture, and hold it to my weak cheek. And she holds it to the wheal on my cheek. Oh, I would have expected welt, but it says wheal, like W-E-A-L. I've never seen that word before. I mean, I say I've read this book before, but I don't remember it. Instantly, the pain withdraws. It's the coldness of the snow, yes, but whatever mix of herb juices my mother added numbs it as well. Oh, that is wonderful. Why didn't you put this on him last night? I needed the wound to set first, she says. I don't know what that means exactly, but as long as it works, who am I to question her? She knows what she's doing, my mother does. I feel a pang of remorse about yesterday and all the awful things I yelled at her as PETA and Hamish dragged me from the kitchen. I'm sorry about screaming at you yesterday. It's okay. I've heard worse, she says. You've seen how people are when someone that they love is in pain. Someone they love. The words numb my tongue as if it's been packed with snow coat. Of course, I love Gale, but what kind of love does she mean? What do I mean when I say I love Gale? I don't really know. I did kiss him last night in the moment when my emotions were running so high, but I'm sure he doesn't remember it. Or does he? I hope not. If he does, everything will just get more complicated, and I really can't think about kissing when I've got a rebellion to incite. I give a little shake to my head to clear it. Where's PETA? I ask. He went home when we heard you stirring. He didn't want to leave his house unattended during the storm, my mother says. Did he get back all right? I ask. In a blizzard, you can get lost in a matter of yards and wander off course into oblivion. Why don't you call him and check on him, she says, and I go into the study, a room I've pretty much avoided since my meeting with President Snow, and I dial PETA's number. After a few rings, he answers. Hey, I just wanted to make sure that you got home, I say. Katniss, I live 3 houses away from you, he says. I know, but with, the weather and all that, I say. Well, I'm fine. Thank you for checking in. There's a long pause then. How's Gale? He's all right. My mother and Prim are giving him a snow coat now, I say. And how's your face? He asks. I've got some snow coat too, I say. Have you seen Hamish today? I checked in on him. He's dead drunk. But I built up his fire and I left him some bread, says PETA. I wanted to talk to both of you. I don't dare add more. Not here on the phone. Surely it's tapped. Yep, probably have to wait until after the weather calms down, he says. Nothing is going to happen before that anyway. No, nothing much, I agree. It takes 2 days for the storm to blow itself out, leaving us with drifts higher than my head. Another day before the path is cleared from Victor's village to the square, and during this time I help tend to Gale. I apply snow coat to my cheek and try to remember everything that I can about the uprising in District 8, in case it might help us. The swelling in my face goes down, leaving me with an itchy, healing wound and a very black eye. But still, the first chance I get, I call Peeta to see if he wants to go into town with me. We rouse Hamish and we drag him along with us. He complains, but not as much as usual. We all know what we need to discuss, what happened, and it can't be anywhere as dangerous as our homes in the Victor's village. In fact, we wait until the village is behind us to even speak. I spend the time studying the 10-foot walls of snow piled up on either side of the narrow path that's been cleared, wondering if they will collapse onto us. And finally, Hamish breaks the silence. "So, we're all heading to the great unknown, are we?" he asks me. "No," I say, "not anymore." "Work through the flaws in that plan, did you, sweetheart?" he asks. "Any new ideas?" "I want to start an uprising," I say. Hamish just laughs. It's not even a mean laugh. It's more just troubling. It shows that he can't even take me seriously. "Oh, well, I want a drink, so you let me know how that works out for you," he says. "All right, then what's your plan?" I spit back at him. "My plan is to make sure that everything is perfect for your wedding," says Hamish. "I called and rescheduled the photo shoot without giving them too many details." "You don't even have a phone," I say. "Effie had that one fixed," he says. "Do you know that she asked me if I'd like to give you away? I told her the sooner the better." "Hamish," I can hear the pleading creeping into my voice. "Katniss," he mimics my tone. "It's not going to work." We shut up as a team of men with shovels passes us, heading out to the Victor's village. Maybe they can do something about those 10-foot walls. And by the time they're out of earshot, the square is too close to us. We step into it, and all comes to a stop simultaneously. I understand it does sound like he's acting mean, but you have to kind of take it from his perspective too, right? Yes, this is a very real baby. I understand that it sounds like Hamish is being mean, but think of everything Hamish has been through. You know what I mean? He's probably just like so desensitized to any hope. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's protecting himself. Yeah, I think. Yeah, wait until we read the other books. No, I don't have any reborn dolls. No, I don't. This is just my real baby. Ooh, see? she moves when you kiss her. Yeah. Okay. And you can hear her breathing. Okay. Where was I? Nothing much will happen in the blizzard. That's what Peeta and I had agreed on, but we couldn't have been more wrong. The square has been transformed. It's a huge banner with the seal of Panem hanging off the roof of the Justice Building. Peacekeepers in pristine white uniforms march on the cleanly swept cobblestones. Along the roof, more of them occupy nests of machine guns. Most unnerving is a line of new constructions. It's an official whipping post, several stockades and gallows set up in the center of the square. I know, right, Anya? It all feels too real. "Thread's a quick worker," says Hamish. Some streets away from the square, I see a blaze flare up. None of us has to say it. That can only be the hob going up in smoke, and I think of Greasy Say, Ripper, and all my friends who make their living there. Hamish, if you don't think that everyone was still in the... I can't finish the sentence. "Nah, they're smarter than that. You would be too if you'd been around longer," he says. "Well, I better go see how much rubbing alcohol the apothecary can spare." He's trudging off across the square, and I look at Peeta. What's he want that for? And then I realize the answer. No, we can't let him drink rubbing alcohol. He'd kill himself, or at very least he'd go blind. I've got some white liquor that I've put away at home. We're on page 129, Eliana. "Yeah, me too. Maybe that'll hold him off until Ripper finds a way back into business," says Peeta. "I need to check on my family. I have to go see Hazel. I'm worried now. I thought she'd be on our doorstep the moment the snow was cleared, but there's been no sign of her." "I'll go too. I'll drop by the bakery on my way home." "Thanks." I'm suddenly very scared about what I might find there. The streets are almost deserted, which would not be so unusual at this time of day if people were at the mines and kids were at school, but they're not. I see faces peeking out of doorways at us through cracked shutters. An uprising, I think. What an idiot I am. There's an inherent flaw in the plan that both Gale and I were too blind to see. An uprising requires breaking the law, thwarting authority. We've done that our whole lives. Our families have. Poaching, trading on the black market, mocking the Capitol in the woods, but for most people in District 12, a trip to buy something at the Hob would be entirely too risky, and I expect them to assemble in a square with bricks and torches. Even the sight of PETA and me is enough to make people pull their children away from the windows, and they draw their curtains shut. We find Hazel in her house, nursing a very sick Posey. I recognize the measles spots. I just couldn't leave her, Hazel says. I knew that Gale would be in the best possible hands. No, of course, I say. He's much better. My mother says that he'll be back to the mines in a couple of weeks. The mines might not be open anyway, says Hazel. Word is they're closed until further notice, and she gives a nervous glance at her empty wash tub. You're closed down too? I ask. Not officially, says Hazel, but everyone's too afraid to use me now. Maybe it's the snow, says PETA. No, Rory made a quick round this morning. There's nothing to wash, apparently, she says. Rory wraps his arms around Hazel. We're gonna be all right, he says, and I take a handful of money from my pocket and I lay it on the table. My mother will send something for Posey. When we're outside, I turn back to PETA. You go on back. I want to take a walk by the Hob. I'll go with you, he says. No, I've dragged you into enough trouble already, I tell him. And avoiding a stroll by the Hob, that's gonna, what, fix things for me? He smiles and he takes my hand, and together we wind through the streets of the seam until we reach the burning building. They haven't even bothered to leave peacekeepers around it. They know no one would try to save it. The heat from the flames melts the surrounding snow, and a black trickle runs across my shoes. It's all that coal dust from the old days, I say. It was in every crack and crevice, ground into the floorboards. It's amazing that the place didn't go up in flames before. I really want to check on Greasy Say. No, not today, Katniss. I don't think we'd be helping anything by dropping in on them, he says. And we go back to the square, and I buy some cakes from PETA's father while they exchange small talk about the weather. No one mentions the ugly tools of torture just yards from the front door. The last thing I notice as we leave the square is that I do not recognize even one of the peacekeepers' faces. As the days pass, things go from bad to worse. The mines stay shut for 2 weeks, and by that time half of the District 12 is starving. The number of kids signing up for Tesserae soars, but they often don't even receive their grain. Food shortages begin, and even those with money come away from stores empty-handed. When the mines reopen, wages are cut. Hours are extended. Miners are sent into blatantly dangerous work sites. They eagerly await food promised from parcel day, and it arrives spoiled and defiled by rodents. The installations in the square see plenty of action as people are dragged in and punished for offenses so long overlooked that we had forgotten they were even illegal. Gale goes home with no more talk of rebellion between us, but I can't help thinking that everything he sees will only strengthen his resolve to fight back. The hardships in the mines, the tortured bodies in the square, the hunger on the faces of his family. Rory signed up for the Tesserae, something Gale can't even speak about, but it's still not enough with the inconsistent availability and ever-increasing food prices. The only bright spot is that I get Hamish to hire Hazel as a housekeeper, resulting in some extra money for her and greatly increasing Hamish's standard of living. It's weird going into his house and finding it fresh and clean. Food is warming on the stove. He hardly notices because he's fighting a whole different battle. PETA and I try to ration what white liquor we had, but it's almost run out, and the last time I saw Ripper, she was in the stocks. I feel like a pariah when I walk through the streets. Everyone avoids me in public now, but there's no shortage of company at home. A steady supply of ill and injured is deposited on our kitchen before my mother, who has long since stopped charging for her services. Her stock of remedies is starting to run low, though, and that'll soon be all she has to treat the patients, and she'll only have snow. The wood, of course, are forbidden. Absolutely no question. Even Gale isn't challenging this now. But one morning, I do. And it isn't the full house of sick and dying that sends me back there. It isn't the blading backs and the gaunt-faced children and the marching boots or the omnipresent misery that drives me under the fence. No, it's the arrival of a crate with a wedding dress on one night with a note from Effie saying that President Snow approved of this dress himself. The wedding. Is it really planning to go through with the wedding? What, with his twisted brain, what's that going to achieve? Is it for the benefit of those in the capital? A wedding, as promised, a wedding will be given. And then what? He'll kill us? A lesson to the districts? I don't know. I honestly can't make sense of it. I toss and turn in bed until I can't stand it anymore and I have to get out of here, at least for a few hours. My hands dig around in my closet and I find the insulated winter gear that Cinna made for me for recreational use on the Victory Tour. There are waterproof boots and a snowsuit that covers me from head to toe, and thermal gloves. I love my old hunting stuff, but the trek I have in mind today is one more suited to this high-tech clothing. So I tiptoe downstairs, load my game bag with food, and sneak out of the house. Slinking along the side streets and back alleys, I make my way to the weak spot in the fence closest to the Ruba the butchers, sorry. Since many workers cross this way to get to the mines, the snow is pockmarked with footprints. Mine will not be noticed. With all his security upgrades, Thread has paid little attention to the fence, perhaps feeling that the harsh weather and wild animals are enough to keep everyone safely inside the fence. Even so, once I'm under the chain link, I cover my tracks until the trees conceal them for me. Dawn is just breaking as I retrieve a set of bow and arrows and begin to force a path through the drifted snow into the woods. I'm determined, for some reason, to get to the lake, maybe to say goodbye to the place, to my father, to the happy times we spent there, because I know I'll probably never return. Maybe just so I can draw a complete breath again. Part of me doesn't even really care if they catch me, and I see if I can see it one more time. The trip takes twice as long as usual. Cinna's clothes hold in the heat all right, but I arrive soaked with sweat under the snowsuit while my face is numb with cold. The glare of the winter sun is off the snow has played games with my vision, and I'm so exhausted and wrapped up in my own hopeless thoughts that I don't notice the signs. There's a thin stream of smoke from the chimney. There's indentations of recent footprints and the smell of steaming pine needles. I'm literally a few yards from the door of the cement house when I pull up short. And that's not because of the smoke or the prints or the smell. It's because of the unmistakable click of a weapon behind me. It's second nature. It's instinct. I turn and I draw back the arrows, although I already know the odds are not in my favor. I see the white peacekeeper uniform, the pointed chin, the light brown iris where my arrow will find home. But the weapon is drooping to the ground, and the unarmed woman is holding something out to me in her gloved hand. "Stop!" she cries, and I waver, unable to process this turn in events. Perhaps they've got orders to bring me in alive so that they can torture me into incriminating every person that I've ever known? Yeah, good luck with that, I think. My fingers have all but decided to release the arrow when I see the object in the glove. It's a small white circle of flat bread. It's a cracker, really. Gray and soggy around the edges, but there's an image clearly stamped into the center of it. It's a mockingjay. Dun dun dun! Well, that was certainly something. Huh. Yeah, really good chapter. Things are getting wild. Definitely goosebumps, but they're definitely spying on her. But I think the saddest part is reading about how everything is disintegrating in District 12. Like, things were already bad. It's so relatable with like everything that's going on, you know. It's like, do you remember in 2020 when there was like the only thing I dislike about book club is daily cliffhanger. I know, right? True, it's true. When there was like no formula for people to feed their kids and stuff like that. That's what it reminds me of. When moms were just like, if you find the formula that I use anywhere, please mail it to me. You know what I mean? Like, it was just heartbreaking. That kind of stuff just is what it sounds like, what it feels like when you read those chapters. Gosh, really awful. I hope we don't get back there with the way that things are going right now. But anyway, I'm gonna scooch, and yeah, shortage of toilet paper. Somehow the shortage of toilet paper did not feel quite as sad as the other. Did you recommend The Words We Keep? Did you recommend The Words We Keep? I don't know what that means. Oh, is that a book called The Words We Keep? I didn't recommend it. Maybe someone else here did. I'm gonna go for now and get started on my work for the day, but I will be live for sure later to make slime. We have Roll for Slime After Dark tomorrow. We'll do regular slime live here tonight, or maybe this afternoon. Maybe we'll do it this afternoon. Let's think about that. The afternoon instead of night. Maybe I'll do it at like 2 or 3 p.m., a little bit earlier. That sounds like it could be a fun idea. If you are on Patreon, even on the free level, I put up a poll for the next restock. If you have not joined even the free level, it's basically like a newsletter. You just sign up with your email address. You don't have to pay for anything, but it allows you to participate in some of the polls that I have, like this restock poll, because this restock poll will be available to the public. So I wanted everyone to be able to participate in it. So get on that. It don't cost you anything to participate in the poll. You should definitely do it. Okay, see you guys later.